Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun-filled learning session at Uolo. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.uolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at YOLO_app. I'm eagerly looking forward to all your submissions right after this class.
Hi everybody, how are you all doing? Good. Oh, that's great. Okay, so today is our last class of the famous emperors of India. And being the last class, I thought let us cover the most powerful emperor. Yeah, so we've done quite a lot of emperors who have ruled in India and were from India, most of them. Okay, of course, we've done Mughals also who weren't from India, but they played a major role when it came to development of India. Okay, everything wasn't based on the Indian rulers, but Mughals have played a great role, so we cannot deny that fact. So we have to include them in history. So this course was all about all the Indian emperors, and I hope you all have enjoyed it thoroughly. Yes? Okay, great. So now my thing is, when I tell you all who is the greatest emperor of all times, not in India, like in general, greatest emperor, or who, okay, India also, who has ruled India, who comes to your mind? It may be Alexander the Great, who invaded India and captured it, or Ashoka the Great, right? But have any of y'all heard about Rajendra Chola? No? See, that's what the problem of Indian history is. Rajendra Chola was one of the greatest rulers in history itself, not only India, but major part of Asia. So we haven't heard about him, right? That is wrong. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to learn about Rajendra Chola's history. Now, who is Rajendra Chola and why are we saying that he's greater than Ashoka the Great and Alexander the Great? So, Rajendra Chola is one of those rulers who not only ruled over South India, but also Sri Lanka, Orissa, West Bengal, East Bengal, Maldives, Thailand, Cambodia, Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia. Can you believe that? Let's count them. South India, okay, Sri Lanka, Orissa, East Bengal, West Bengal, Maldives, Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, Cambodia, Indonesia. 11 places. It is massive. No other king has been able to do that. At least no other Indian king has been able to go overseas conquer a place and rule over it. Impressive, right? Exactly. So we need to learn about Rajendra Chola in order to do justice to history, right? We cannot just keep doing those emperors who are really famous without even looking at the other perspectives, correct? So yes, so when next time when we hear about Singapore, Malaysia, and all these places, we Rajendra Chola's name should in like come to our minds immediately. Okay, and greatest emperor, do not consider Alexander the Great. Firstly, he was not from India, so let's not give him that much importance. Secondly, yes, Ashoka the Great was a very powerful ruler and he had conquered most of India, but Rajendra Chola had conquered overseas also. Like he conquered Sri Lanka, he conquered Maldives, he conquered Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Cambodia. Massive, right? Yes, so next time when we hear of the word the greatest ruler, the phrase, we need to remember Rajendra Chola. Okay, so let's begin with today's topic. Today's king, basically, Rajendra Chola. So next time when I ask you who's the greatest ruler, whom will you all tell me? Who is it? Rajendra Chola, right? Okay, let's begin. Now, Rajendra Chola was the most powerful Tamil king, okay, ever. Originally called Madurantakan, Rajendra Madurantakan, okay, was born to Rajaraja Chola and Tribhuvana Madevi. Can you see the chart, their family chart? He was born to Rajaraja Chola I and Tribhuvana Madevi. So Rajaraja Chola and Tribhuvana Madevi got a son named as Rajendra Chola. His real name was, he was also known by Madurantaka. And Rajaraja Chola also had a daughter known as Kunda Devi. Kundavai. Okay. So his sister was known as Kundavai. Now, in 1014 AD, 4 years after the construction of the Brihandeswara temple, Rajaraja Chola died. But 2 years ago, prior to that, Rajendra Chola was made the co-regent. Co-regent means the person who's going to rule with the king. Okay, co-regent. And he started ruling the Chola Empire along with his father. Okay, and that was the beginning of the most powerful rule in the entire history of the Chola dynasty. Within a few years of becoming the king, Rajendra Chola invaded Sri Lanka. So remember I told you which all places he ruled over? So he started with Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka was the first place he invaded. During his father's rule only, the northern part of Sri Lanka was captured. So till his father was alive, the northern part of Sri Lanka was captured. But Rajendra Chola wasn't really satisfied with it. So he said, I want the entire Sri Lanka. Okay. But Rajendra set his eyes upon the whole island. With his massive army, he captured the Sinhala king Mahinda V, who was hiding in the jungles, and conquered the whole island of Sri Lanka. And Mahinda was taken back to the Chola country as a prisoner. Okay, now coming back to the family tree. Okay, like I said, Rajaraja Chola I had two kids. One was Rajendra Chola and Kundavai. Kundavai was the sister of Rajendra Chola, right? So Rajendra Chola's sister Kundavai had been married to Vimaladitya, okay, the Eastern Chalukya king of Vengi. After the death of Vimaladitya, his son Raja Chanakya Narendra could not take. So he was married, okay, and he had a son of Raja. Narendra could not take the throne. Why could he not take the throne? Now, Chalukya dynasty was also big, right? So it was divided into Eastern Chalukyas and Western Chalukyas. Okay, he could not take the throne because of the interference of the Western Chalukya king Jayasimha II. So now, if the king is there, obviously the others would try to conquer your place, right? So the Western Chalukya king Jayasimha wasn't ready to allow him. He wanted that place too. So that's when Rajendra came in. Rajendra defeated Jayasimha and installed his nephew Raja Narendra as the new king of the Eastern Chalukya dynasty. So that's what he did. So he was like, he's my nephew, he's facing difficulty, he's very young. I didn't expect him to know so much, but if his uncles are troubling him, this uncle is going to stand right by him and help him. Later, it was Raja Narendra who established his new capital, which is today's Jaya. Can you see this? Rajamundry in Andhra Pradesh. This place still exists. Okay. In 1019 AD, Rajendra Chola set out on an expedition to the north, led by his commander-in-chief, Aryan Rajarajan. He was able to defeat the kings of the Kalinga, which is today's Orissa, Dandaputti, kingdom between India's Orissa and today's Orissa and Bengal, and the then ruler of Bengal. Finally, after defeating the Palla, ruler of Mahipala I, in a fierce battle, he took the water from the Ganges, that is today's Ganga, back to Chola country. After conquering the north up to the banks of the Ganges, he was hailed as Gangaikonda Cholan. Gangaikonda Cholan means who has literally conquered the land of the Ganges. Okay, or the Chola who conquered the Ganges. He also shifted the Chola capital from Tanjavur to a new city, Gangaikonda, Cholapuram. This city served as the Chola capital, okay, for about 250 years since then. Can you believe that? Massive. Okay, in his new capital, he built the massive Gangai, Konda Choleshwaram. Now, what is that? Okay, so there was a temple which his father had built. Okay, can you see the Nandi bell over here? So, he had built a temple with Nandi bell. And now, since they had shifted the capital, he thought, I should build a temple too. There might be some sacred reason behind it. Okay, so he built a temple which looked very similar to his father's Brihandeshwara temple in Tanjavur. The most striking difference is that Rajendra's temple tower was a concave slope, it is, and a little shorter in height. However, the reason behind creating almost replica of Tanjavur temple is still a mystery. Yes, so this was very important at that particular period of time. Of course, if you're shifting your capital, you would want some sort of replica that should be there when you are conquering the other places and going around. But somehow that wasn't possible. Okay, now there's another part to the story. Shall we continue? Okay. Let us continue. Okay. Also, to commemorate his history in the banks of the Ganges, Rajendra Chola created one of the largest man-made lakes in India called the Chola Gangam. So, of course, you cannot create it man-made, it's very difficult, but he took the initiative to do that. Okay, so he created a lake. He considered this lake to be a liquid pillar of history. Why? Because he was able to capture and conquer the land of the Ganges. So he thought, I can do anything. Okay, that he erected after conquering the Ganges. The conquered rulers were made to bring pots of water from the Ganges to this capital, which was poured into the new lake to sanctify it. Today, this lake is called Puneri. Yes? So we have learned quite a lot till here. Any doubts that you'll have? Yes? Yes, it is a very striking feature. No other king has done that, even after him. Correct? Okay, let's go ahead. Do Rajendra Chola's Gangai Konda Cholapuram is said to have been a great city in the past with two thick fortifications and exquisite, as exquisite means large, enormous, beautiful architectural work. Unfortunately, only mounds remain today. Sad, right? Like, you are one of the greatest dynasties. You have ruled, you have been a part of one of the greatest, I'll just at my screen for the time being. You have been a part of the greatest dynasties of the past, and yet all that remains is the mounds. Okay. However, he was successful in capturing the whole of Sri Lanka after that. And after he conquered the whole of Sri Lanka, he turned his eyes towards, you all should know this by now. What did he do? He turned his eyes towards the northeast. That is Orissa, West Bengal, East Bengal, Thailand, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, Cambodia, Indonesia, right? So there was a massive thing that he had in his mind. Of course, it would take him time, but he was very determined that he wants to and will capture all these places. So let's get back and understand how he did that. Shall we start? Okay. So Sri Vijaya was a powerful kingdom in the southeast. Okay. Asia, which included today's so what was Sri Vijaya? It's basically today's Asia, which included Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand. During Rajaraja Chola's period, there were cordial relations between the Sri Vijaya kingdom and the Chola kingdom. That means when his father was alive. Okay. However, things changed during Rajendra's rule. Okay, the Khempar Emperor Suryavarman I, who ruled today's Cambodia, sought the help of Rajendra Chola to conquer Tambralinga Kingdom, which is today's southern Thailand. Learning about this, the Tambralingam Kingdom requested help from the Sri Vijaya king Sangrama Vijaya Tungavarman. This alliance eventually led to the Chola and the Sri Vijaya Empire coming into conflict. Now, what happened? In 1025 AD, Rajendra led the Chola forces across the Indian Ocean and invaded Sri Vijaya. He attacked Kadaram, Panay, and many other places in Malaysia, Indonesia, and southern Thailand, and defeated the Sri Vijayan king. After this victory, Rajendra Chola was hailed as Kadaram Kondan. Why? Because he was able to conquer the entire place, right? Yes. So after Kandaram Kundam means the entire area of the southeast. You have massive. Then you conquered Thailand. You conquered Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia. You have conquered all the places. What is left? Like all the Indian Ocean is covered, most of it, and you have Maldives also. Okay, so let's go ahead. Now let's come back to his family tree. Rajendra Chola had many wives, including Tribhuvana Mahadevi, Panchavan Mahadevi, Veera Mahadevi, and Mukokilan. Okay, with whom he had three sons: Raja Dhiraja, Rajendra II, Veera Rajendra, okay, and two beautiful daughters, Arul Mohozi Nangai and Ammangai Devi. In 1044 AD, Rajendra Chola died. This queen, Veera Mahadevi, committed sati upon her husband's death. Okay, so this is how his entire history, like his, I can't say the Chola dynasty came to an end, but it was the end of a very powerful ruler and a very powerful rule that he conducted. So, next time when someone asks you who was the greatest ruler in India, please do not say Alexander the Great because he was an invader. Okay, of course, Ashoka the Great was, but no one ever talks about all these rulers were in BC, right? Uh, no, AD only, right? After that. But all these rulers were like very recent, if you see. When we talk about Rajendra Chola, it's way behind and no one really talks about it. So make sure when someone says, who was the greatest ruler of all? What's going to be your answer? Rajendra Chola. Very good. Okay, so let's come to today's activity. If you have seen carefully in this video, there were these two temples which were built, okay? One was in the original capital which Rajendra Chola had built, and a replica was made when the capital was shifted by Rajendra Chola. Both these temples had one thing in common. Of course, the height was different, a little architectural things were different. The one thing that remained common was the Nandi bell at the entrance. So today we are going to draw a Nandi bell, that is a cow basically. Yes? So everyone get ready with your supplies and just give me a second and then we start. Is everyone ready? Can we start? It won't take you long, trust me. Yes? Okay, let's start. It's a very easy drawing. Yes, let's begin. So we start with the face. So I'll just go a little slow with y'all. So this is my front part. And this is how I'm going to draw the mouth and my structure is ready. Okay, based on this, I'm going to add many details just to the face, not to the body. So copy this till here, then we go ahead. Done, everybody? Yes? Okay, you're still looking for, okay, you'll just need a paper and a pencil. That's it, nothing more for now. Sketch pen if you'll want. But I would prefer if you'll draw it with a pencil since you haven't done it before. Yes? Okay, everybody, quickly copy this down. I can see most of you all have your supplies ready now. Quickly copy this down. Just the face structure. Done? Okay, let's go ahead. Now we are going to draw the eyes. Then we are going to draw the two horns. Okay, so yes, the nose, of course. Then the two horns. One horn and the other horn. So I'll stop here. So draw the eyes. You see the eyes are looking so pretty right now. The eyes, the nose, and the two horns. Done, everybody? Okay, that's great. Now let's draw the ear. One ear. Okay. And with this, we are done with the facial structure. Is everyone done till here? Okay, I'll just give you all a second. Done? Great, let's go ahead. Now we're going to draw the upper part of the body. So we start with the hump and we continue it till the back. This is the upper structure of the body. Yes, make it a little elongated because cows are long. Okay, done. So I made a hump and then just a structure, normal structure. Okay, let's go ahead and let's draw the bottom part. So I'm going to draw the legs simultaneously. So this is how I'm going to start with the first part, and I'm going to get my first leg down. So it cannot be straight line, so little curvy. Okay, and then my leg. So this is how I'm going to draw my first leg. Yes, okay, draw it please. Done, everybody? Great. Let's go ahead. Now, let's come to the second leg. The legs are there at the behind. Okay, this is my connecting body, and I'm going to draw my legs now. The back legs have a lot of calf muscles. Make sure you'll do it. Like the thigh muscle, sorry. Okay, so this is how I'm going to draw my leg. Okay, so this is how I've drawn my second leg. Now, how many legs does a cow have? 4, right? So we've just drawn one in front, one at the back, correct? So we need to draw the others also. Are you all done clear? Then we'll draw the other 2 legs. Done? Great. Let's start with the back leg now. The second back leg, this is how I'm going to do it. Done? The second back leg. Okay, I'll just give you a second. Yes? Okay, let's go ahead. And the front leg now. Second front leg. That is it. That's the front leg. Done, everybody? Okay, now there's one thing that's missing in this. Can anyone point out? In the chat box, I would like to see your responses if you all can spot what is missing. One part of the cow is missing. Okay, let me just check your responses. Very good, guys. Very good. It is the tail. Let's draw the tail. So I'm just going to draw like a thin strand of tail with a nice pony at the end. Yes. So yes, this is your beautiful cow. Now, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to like give it a nice, what do you say? A nice design on the back. Say, if I want to draw a nice sheet over here, so I'm going to make an elaborate design pattern. So I'm going to draw this over here, maybe another border over here. And then I'm going to give some nice design. So maybe I can do it with blue. So, and you all can color it. Okay. So similarly over here. And then maybe I'll just like to do circles on this part. So anything that you like, any way that you find you all can decorate the cow and make it look even more beautiful. Okay. Now, of course, I would prefer if you all keep the cow white in color, but I would like to see how you all can decorate this bit. Okay. And maybe you all can add some nice little bells over here on this part, like something nice, elaborate, maybe something on the ankles. Yes, any place that you find you all can decorate it. Okay, you all can do that. You all can create nice designs and color it as well. Okay, so I would like to see what different thing that you can do, and you all can send it to me. Okay, so yes, I just want to see a basic structure, and then you all can complete this and send it across. You all know you all have 2 days span to submit your entries. So let's see. Okay, great job, Priya. I like your work. Very, very nice. Good job. Very nice, Emmanuel. Good work. Keep it up. Yes, Simran, that's a really nice cow. Very nice. So, guys, everyone's is nice. Only the ones that I can see properly have taken name of. So make sure you are placing it properly in front of your camera. Okay. And another thing, uh, you'll know this is the last class of this entire course. So yes, make sure that you all do it properly to get your certifications. Another very important thing is that I'm coming up with a new course, and it is about all the famous writers and authors of fantasy novels, of course, in the entire world. One of them is really famous. Okay. We won't be doing that in the first class, but of course, just so that you'll get an idea, it's J.K. Rowling. You know who is J.K. Rowling? I'm pretty sure everyone knows. She's the author of the very famous Harry Potter series. Yes, of course, exciting, right? So we are going to learn a lot about these authors. So make sure you enroll and join in for the next series. Okay, coming back to today's topic. I hope you'll enjoyed Raja Chola's history and you all will remember who was the greatest king of all time in India, Raja Chola. Great. Make sure you'll make your entries in time. I'm going to select top 10 and I'm going to feature them on our website. You'll know the drill. So ensure that you'll submit it. And until the next course, bye.
Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun-filled learning session at Uolo. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.uolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at YOLO_app. I'm eagerly looking forward to all your submissions.